We've talked about this on this program before about major infrastructure issues, and the scramble is on to build a new rail tunnel under the Hudson River. Now, the existing tunnels, they're 100 years old. They're falling apart. Delays in the New Jersey Transit and Amtrak are now the norm. I certainly don't have to tell anybody in the Garden State what a nightmare it's been this summer. But that wasn't enough to get Christie to approve a new one. In 2010, he terminated the ARC tunnel over worries about the price tag. Today, Transportation Secretary Anthony Foxx visited the Garden State to talk about the mess at Senator Cory Booker's office. They called it productive, but will it be like herding cats to get all parties to agree on anything? Richard, you got to get the New York governor also on board with this thing. The thing had its shot. Should we, I mean, listen, the part that people don't realize is, and I spent a lot of time with both county leaders, mayors, people in the state legislature in New Jersey, transportation is a huge part of the New Jersey economy here. And they're feeling this, not just with people aggravated with delays, but they are feeling the impacts of it. They got to do something.
This is going to turn around whether Christie can double back, because he took the $3 billion and he used it for local roads. Now he wants to go back and get another $3, $4, $5 billion. I think this is going to be a test for Christie, who made a terrible mistake, and it's going to be and he will be the pivot around which this decision circulates. The feds will kick in some more money, but he can't keep stealing tunnel money to use it to pave roads and expect the feds to come back and fund it.
And there's a political dynamic attached. He's running for president right now. He's done a few things already that, you know, angered the legislature like crazy, because they said it's purely partisan what he's trying to do to try and make a statement here to voters in Iowa, New Hampshire, et cetera. This will be a major about face. I think they got to do it, but if he does, I don't see how it helps him politically, Dominic.
You're going to say that I'm being negative here. Excuse me.
Yeah. Captain Sunshine over here. Yeah, go ahead.
But now that Governor Christie's campaign for president is all about over, only he doesn't know it yet. Maybe, but the polling shows it, maybe he can focus on full time on this issue. Part of the reason why he didn't go along in 2010, as you said, he was concerned, and maybe he's right as far as, and Richard's right about the using the money for other purposes, but he was concerned about the cost overrun, as you said, and all of it falling to New Jersey. So perhaps that's a good issue. But the other issue was that the possibility of raising taxes, knowing that he was interested in higher office, he could not go along with that.
You have the Chamber of Commerce. I mean, you're not going to find a more conservative entity. They supported raising the gas tax in New Jersey to pay for this, because they knew economically, penny wise, pound foolish, to turn down the monies offered to build this thing. Nobody likes paying for stuff, but at a certain point, I mean, you're seeing the chickens coming home to roost. All right, next, we'll move up to Niagara County. Republican Assemblyman John Ceretto announced today he's switching to the Democratic Party. Did this come as a big surprise, Ed, or no?
Not necessarily. I mean, the power rests with the Democrats in the Assembly. There's always a temptation, particularly someone who was a Democrat before, which he was, became a Republican. I campaigned for him, actually, way back when. He won that seat, and now he wants to be a chairman of a committee. I'm sure a lot of things were promised to him in the process, and it's happened on the other side. You look at the end. You look. Oh, well, just
come up and say
you look. Oh,
Richard,
just hold it a second. You got the independent Democrats in the Senate who are coming over to work with Republicans. You had a senator who was a Democrat some time back in the Rochester area who became a Republican, because the Republicans, he wanted to get his legislative program through. You got to be in the majority to do it. So this is just part of the legislative process.
Let us not accuse people of crimes unless we have evidence. If we have evidence, call the U.S. Attorney. If promises were made of the kind you suggest, call Preet Bharara. If they weren't, withdraw it. That being said, the reason he gave was that the Democratic Party was better able to bring economic development to Western New York. Agree or disagree, it's a problem when the Republican Party in New York, the party of Rockefeller and Javits, is the party of austerity, tax cuts for the rich, and no investment.
On the broader issue, got guys switching parties in the middle. I know you can do it. I certainly know there's precedent on every level of government. I've seen this. I'm not crazy about it, especially when people do it pretty soon. I'm not casting aspersions on him. I don't really know the motivations as well. I've heard what Richard said, but especially when they do it pretty soon after election. To me, you have a responsibility to the electorate. Your campaign is one thing, right? And if you're going to switch, why don't you do it during a campaign? Otherwise, it seems, and I know, please, I'm not naive, it seems really blatantly politically opportunistic to switch. And I am being cynical.
No, you're absolutely right.
Wait till a campaign is
so wait, so you're saying the fact that there are almost 14,000 more Democrats up in Niagara than Republicans, that might have played a role in this?
I think it did. But my point is, how about this?
Shocking.
How about this? If you had the conviction to run as a Democrat or a Republican the last time around, have the conviction, the next term, if you're going to change, to go run as something else. I get it. They do it. This happens in both parties. I'm not casting aspersions on one or the other. But to me, I'm just saying as the electorate, as the electorate, I just think it's a cheap move.
Cheap move, agreed. But
no.
But if you have the choice of going with the majority,
I get it.
And getting more, which he could argue is more for
what
his
happened
constituents.
with the Democratic senator in Rochester who switched me? He resigned, and then he ran again as a Republican. He put himself up as a Republican rather than switch in the middle of a term, which makes, I think that's the honest way to do it.
It's more palatable, at least to me. Okay, I want to go.
Bourgeois.
I knew that was coming. All right, now to New York City, and that's where Brooklyn Assemblyman Charles Barron, never one to mince words, he wants to end grand juries for cases involving citizens killed by police. Now, Barron upset here with the secretive nature of the proceedings in cases like the Eric Garner death. He's threatening to, quote, and these are his words exactly, shut the city down if Mayor de Blasio doesn't support the plan. Now, Dominic, two things at play. He looks what's happening in California, where Governor Brown did away with that. But he's also ignoring the fact that Governor Cuomo just appointed and gave powers to the Attorney General to do this. Barron doesn't like it. How much trouble can he really cause for this mayor?
Absolutely. Oh, for the mayor? Really, what this is, Richard, is Mr. Barron regurgitating inflammatory rhetoric going back to the days of Sonny Carson. The only one that I've ever seen shut down the New York City subway system in protest, and this is like 25 years ago, was Sharpton and Company. These guys, they're just talking baloney. I don't think the Assemblyman Barron could shut down his own household if he wanted to. But it points to the ineffectiveness of the mayor, frankly. Notice who he's picking the fight with. He ain't going to pick a fight with Cuomo, because you ain't going to win that one, buddy. He's picking the one with the person that he feels is weaker. What does the mayor of New York have to do with the grand jury process? Come on.
Right. And to my end, that's the read that I took away from this, too. All these 1,000 paper cuts that this mayor is dealing with, whether self-inflicted or not. No, but nobody's afraid of him, Richard. And I know you shouldn't govern by fear, but you should be a little afraid of him.
He's had a bad 2 months. The Barron stuff, there's an interesting debate to be had about grand juries and about grand jury secrecy.
What is de Blasio going to do with it? Yeah.
Well, no. What the mayor has plenty to do with anything the mayor wants to speak out about. But I do think he's picking on the mayor because the mayor's weaker than he used to be. But
why are you looking at me?
I don't know, but let me put it like this. I don't want to comment on why I'm looking at you.
How about this, Ed? We know certainly the demographics. We know the registration numbers, how tough it was. Joe Lota, what happened the last time. Dominic's already said repeatedly that Dems are going to line up to challenge this man, the mayor, in the next primary. Do Republicans internally, are they talking about candidates they think could have a shot here to be like a Rudy or et cetera?
Absolutely. And we got the party cleaned up. We got strong party leaders in all 5 counties. Queens, the Hatfields-McCoy fight that was going on is now over. Former Congressman Bob Turner is now the chairman in Queens. We're looking to pick up assembly seats. I think we can pick up a council seat there. Senate seats. And then in
With Trump at the top of the
2017,
ticket, you can
get
do that?
a good mayoral
Ignore him,
candidate who could beat de Blasio. And just let me say, he and Cuomo are 2 scorpions in a bottle, and Cuomo's got to win that one because if de Blasio challenges Cuomo in a primary, remember he only got 60% in the last Democrat against a no-name candidate. teach out, he's in deep trouble. So he's got, and he's been working hard, and every chance he gets to kill Mayor de Blasio.
Yeah, and I think he's winning.
He sure is.
All right. Thank you so much, Chairman. When we come back, the full member of the media, Mr. Brodsky here, had a really interesting conversation. Jim Belushi, he plays former Yonkers Mayor Angelo Martinelli in a brand new HBO miniseries already out about the housing desegregation battle that still has scars left on the great city of Yonkers. Richard spoke to the real Martinelli about really what went on. We'll have that conversation straight ahead.